Hello, Nomads. I hesitated a long time before beginning this series because I know that there are many nomads who are currently involved in multi-level marketing companies, or who have been, or who are very closely allied with somebody who is involved in a multi-level marketing company. But I have serious problems with multi-level marketing, and that is why I created this series. And at the very end, I'm going to tell you why this matters to me so much. First, a preamble. I do not mean to target any of the nomads in particular. I have absolutely nothing against anybody who is involved in an MLM. As I said in the first episode of Soon Parted, I was briefly involved in an MLM before I even knew what MLM was. So this is not a personal attack on anybody. And this is not even about any particular product or service, because in MLM, the product or service isn't the problem, it's the model. It could be the best, most valuable product in the world. If it were the best, most valuable product in the world, it probably wouldn't be sold using the MLM model. But even if it were, the problem is not the product. The problem is not the service. It's the so-called business model. So what is the source for everything that I'm about to tell you? Well, it's essentially in this series, not in this series, in this particular episode, attributed to this man, Robert Fitzpatrick, who has, as far as I know, done the only academic work on the multi-level marketing industry of note. There are others, but he is the one who is best associated with it and whose name is on most of the work, particularly this book, Ponzinomics, which is his latest book on the multi-level marketing world. And in this book, Fitzpatrick breaks down all of MLMs, all of them, regardless of the product that they sell or the service that they provide, into four elements that are shared by all MLMs. And I'm going to first outline them. They are the endless chain model, pay to play, recruiting, and extreme money transfer. And I'm going to explain what each of them is. First, what is the endless chain? Well, it is the business model that is shared by all MLMs. The salesperson, the distributor, who is not an independent business owner, they are a 1099 contract employee of the MLM, is permitted to sell product or services, usually. However, the object is to recruit people who recruit more people, quote, ad infinitum, but of course there is not an infinite supply of people. There are some assumptions that the endless chain model makes, all of which are fallacious. It assumes an unlimited market. In other words, the business model does not include the proposition that there are a limited number of people who will buy this product or service. The business model does not consider the presence of competition in the market, as all good business models do. And this is a tendency. It is, none of these things are true of 100%. There are variations, but essentially, all MLMs have this quality, and that is that the price of the product or service does not change. Okay, pay to play. One feature that is common to all MLMs is that you must buy the product or service to come on board. Folks, I may have admitted to you that I sold used cars briefly in my life, and I was not required to buy a car in order to become a used car salesman. You must buy the product or service to come on board, and typically you must keep paying for the product or service in the form of renewals or in terms of personal volume or team volume. You must continue to pay for the service in order to stay on board, especially if you want to level up. Next item, recruiting. The only real way to make money, and I don't mean just have money come into your bank account, but I mean to exceed your expenses. The only real way to make money in an MLM is to recruit. and I mean recruit in all capital letters. Otherwise, you will struggle to break even. That is, if you actually do a balance sheet and you total up everything that you've spent related to this MLM and what you've earned. If you do not recruit, and I mean recruit heavily, you will struggle to break even or you will lose money. And then finally, there is what is referred to as extreme money transfer. And this begins with reading the compensation plans. Now, when you enroll in an MLM, they will present the compensation plan to you. I have to tell you, folks, I have an MD and a PhD, and my eyes blur when I read these compensation plans. That's deliberate. They are extremely convoluted and difficult to understand. Here's the bottom line on all of them. This is a mechanism to siphon money to the top of the pyramid. In fact, according to Fitzpatrick, up to 50%, between 50 and 70%, as I'm going to say in the next slide, 50 to 70% of the value that is transferred lands high up in the chain. And here's another feature: revenue of a company is proportional to the number of new recruits. Now, there's no way that you're going to see this when you're joining an MLM, but this is when you look under the hood, you will find that the total revenue that is acquired by one of these companies per year is related to the yearly number of new recruits. Okay, here's the bottom line. And again, this is only part one. I'm going to deal with this in future episodes. Why does all of this matter to me so much that I'm making this an episode of Soon Parted? You nomads are way too valuable. Your time is way too valuable. Your skills, knowledge, and experience are way too valuable to be involved in multi-level marketing companies. My fondest wish is that you use the resources that are available here on the Nomad Network to look beyond MLM and to actually generate value in your life for yourself, for your family, and for the world. And that's all I've got for you. I will see you in the next episode.